Hi, hello friends, and welcome to another coffee chat video. It is September, obviously it's September 10th today. Nope, that's wrong, it's September 11th. This is my postpartum brain, but we are just gonna have one of our cozy coffee chats, catch up on life. I haven't done one of these since I believe March, so it's been 6 months, if I'm doing that math correctly. Also don't trust my math right now. I've got a little iced coffee that I made. It's 1 shot of espresso with some oat milk because, as you guys probably know, I am doing dairy-free, gluten-free right now, and you know, we're trying to keep life happy even though we have to cut those things out. But I love these videos. I feel like you guys love them as well. It's always really fun just to connect with y'all in the comments and just to talk about different topics and whatnot. I always ask over on my Instagram for any questions literally about anything that I share about or things that you want to know, whether it's marriage, pregnancy, having a baby, postpartum, faith, life, work, etc. and they're seeing all of that. And I usually just get a handful of questions over there, so I like to answer those. And then I always just have random things that are on my heart and mind. You guys know I am such a rambler, such a yapper. I love to externally process, and I feel like this video ends up being kind of a weird therapy session for me where I just talk through all the random topics on my mind. And I usually do that towards the end. I like to answer y'all's questions first. At least that's the structure I am hoping for this video. But yeah, Justin's watching Little Miss Elbow right now for the next 20 minutes before he has another work meeting. So I'm gonna try to kind of get through this a little bit faster. I might have to do this in 2 parts filming wise, so it might be a little choppy and the lighting might look a little weird. But just to kind of recap and catch you guys up on life, obviously had little Miss Ella back in July. She's actually 2 months old today. It's so crazy that she's 2 months. I actually can't believe it. She is looking so much more like a baby these days than a newborn. I guess the newborn stage is technically the first 3 months is my understanding, but she's just kind of losing that early newborn look and just looks more like a baby. I don't know if that makes sense, but my friend Madeline pointed that out and that has just stuck with me ever since she said that a couple weeks ago. She's doing really well. She's super healthy. She's thriving. It's been so fun just to watch her grow and develop and like be able to see farther as far as I can tell, like being, you know, staring at light and the ceiling fan and just getting so curious and alert and fun. She started smiling at us a week or so ago, which was so sweet. And I keep trying to catch it on video for my family, and it's been hard. It's been a lot of like quick little half smiles, but it's been so much fun. I've said this a few times in my videos, but I'm so thankful postpartum is going so much better than I expected. I feel really, really lucky that I really haven't struggled mentally. I think a large part of that is the fact that I'm still taking my Lexapro. So I was on Lexapro all pregnancy. I wasn't great about taking it consistently, which I do regret, but I've taken it every single day postpartum. I think I've missed a day or two just totally on accident, and it has been such a lifesaver. I feel just really well regulated and even keel. Obviously certain days are harder than others, and I definitely had my breakdowns, especially those like first 3 weeks. I feel like are just kind of a shot in the dark trying to figure out sleep and breastfeeding and just transitioning to this huge life change. But I'm actually doing really, really well. So praise God, I'm so thankful for that. But as y'all know, all the weird physical things between the anemia and the preeclampsia and like the hypertension postpartum and all the gut health stuff now. So it's just very weird, and I'm trying to just be grateful for the things that, you know, are going well, like the mood and all of that, because I know that's not everyone's story. And you know, so far I'm not struggling with anxiety really at all or depression. I'm doing really well. So I'm trying to just hold on to gratitude for that and kind of take every day as it comes with the physical things. But you know, besides the gut health stuff, I actually feel pretty good physically too. I'm able to go outside and go on walks, and I've started exercising some more, like doing some strength training and of course pelvic floor PT. So just trying to, you know, stay grounded in gratitude as much as I can. Also, if things look different on this camera, it's because I am using my actual vlogging camera right now. I've been using my phone to vlog for pretty much everything else right now, but I feel like for sit down videos, it's just so much easier to do it on a camera because I don't really want, you know, 20, 30 minutes of footage on my iPhone. I just feel like that would totally drain my battery and just be kind of annoying to go through. So hence the little, you know, change in how this video looks. Things that we have coming up. Obviously we have our Disney trip coming up very soon. This video will probably go up when we're at Disney. I am so excited. I don't know if this will go up before the Postpartum Diaries episode 2. It's hard when you're filming multiple videos at once. I'm filming like 4 videos right now, which I try not to do that to myself. I really try to film only 2 at the same time because it just can get really complicated, but I have a new structure for how I'm organizing and planning my videos, and I kind of create a little shot list of different scenes, if you will, that I plan to have. So I'm doing a lot more pre-planning for my videos. I never script anything in my videos, but sometimes I'll just think through what I want to say, kind of rehearse it in my head, and then I just go off the cuff when I actually pull up the camera, because I've just been doing this for so many years now. I feel pretty confident in being able to rattle things off. That's all to say that sometimes when I'm talking to the camera about certain topics, I'm like, ooh, do they know that yet? Have I already talked about that? Like, I know I'm gonna film that scene for that video, but I'm filming this for this video. Anyways, if you get confused at all, sorry about that, figuring it all out. But looking forward to the Disney trip so much. I am definitely nervous about traveling with Ella, especially the airport. I think that's what I'm most nervous about. I feel pretty good about when we get to Disney, just navigating the parks, all of that. Growing up, going to Disney every few years like we did, and then going many times as an adult. Like, I've probably gone to Disney probably 15 times now, which is crazy to me. I feel very confident in navigating the parks. My husband and I have gone a couple times now. I should call him Justin. You guys all know Justin at this point. If you're new watching this, my husband's name is Justin. But yeah, I'm just gonna be very happy when we get through the airport. I keep telling myself if it goes horribly and she's like screaming the whole flight, I will never see these people again. If someone says something rude or off the cuff, you know, it's gonna be okay. It'll be early in the morning and we will respond as graciously as we can and we'll move on with our lives. It is so crazy to me that maternity leave is almost over. I actually just had a conversation with my boss about return to work, and she was just kind of confirming plans, you know, going back part-time, all of that. And actually something that I can update you guys on that is new just to this video, so you guys are gonna hear it first. My plan has been to go back just Tuesdays and Fridays, 2 days a week at my nurse practitioner job, but we currently cannot find a nanny. We were hoping to get a nanny for just the Tuesdays, and then Justin is actually gonna watch Ella on Fridays because he's gonna work 4/10s Monday through Thursday, which is so nice that his boss is letting him do that. And also just like, I prefer Ella to be, you know, with her dad. So I will definitely be going back to work on Fridays, but Tuesdays we currently don't have childcare. So that is an issue. We are actively looking and trying to just ask friends and, you know, church group chats and all that kind of stuff. I really wanna find someone who I know through someone else. I don't personally want to go through like an agency or anything. I just don't feel super comfortable with that. With our baby being so young, I really want to trust this person. I might get more chill as time goes on and she gets older, but anyways, just feeling very nervous about that and picky, but at the same time, like, I am able to stay home, you know, Monday through Thursday if needed. And so that is the plan right now, unless we do find a nanny. I'm so thankful that my boss is so flexible and gracious. She has 4 kids herself, so she definitely understands it. So hopefully we'll be able to find someone come October, and, you know, I can just do the once a week work for like a month or so until we find someone. But even if we don't, you know, that's okay. I honestly am not mad about it. I love my job and I'm genuinely really excited to go back, but I also really love being home with my baby and also just having more free time to do stuff like this, like make YouTube videos and content, and also just like keep our home cleaner and, I don't know, like get more sleep and exercise and just do all that self-care stuff. And I don't know, like be a wife and mom. It's the best thing ever, and being a nurse practitioner definitely falls under that in terms of priorities, but hopefully I will be able to go back, you know, more than just that once a week. And I think I mentioned in the first episode of the postpartum diaries that I was feeling super nervous about going back to work. I'm actually feeling a lot better, and part of the reason for that is one of my friends who has a daughter who, gosh, is probably 15 months old. Yeah, that sounds about right. She was talking about how much of a joy it's been to share her daughter with other people and to see the joy that her daughter brings, like her babysitter and her family and all of that. And that was a really good perspective shift for me to think, okay, I'm not like depriving my daughter of time with me. I'm gonna be with her for so much of the week. Like having one day where she's with a stranger who will very quickly become a part of our family, probably, in terms of just feeling really close to this person. It can be a really good thing for her to be exposed to other people and just be loved on by a different person, because it really does take a village, as they say, to raise kids. But also like thinking about the joy that Ella will bring to whoever we end up hiring is really sweet. So I did some part-time babysitting and nanny work in college, and I think back to how much the kiddos that I watched impacted me. Like there's this one girl in particular who was 18 months, I believe, when I started nannying for her my senior year and into the summer after, and she had the biggest impact on me. I went through a horrible breakup at the end of my senior year, which, gosh, that was like 6 or so years ago now, and I swear God used this little sweet 18-month-old girl to like minister to me, even though she wasn't really talking. I mean, it was just like in her love and her, I don't know, just the way that she interacted with adults, it was so precious and it was so healing for me. And I think about, you know, whoever we end up welcoming into our home, trusting to watch Ella, we have no idea what they might be going through, and maybe it'll be like really healing for them to watch our daughter. So that has definitely encouraged me. Maybe that'll encourage you if you're also feeling kind of like apprehensive about hiring someone or just like childcare in general. I think it's very normal to have those mixed feelings because you're their mom and you want to be with them all the time, but you also like want to work and do other things, and that's totally okay. So anyways, those are just some thoughts on that. All right, don't mind me, but I am gonna feed Ella real quick. She started getting fussy and Justin had to go to his meeting, so going to feed her while we finish chatting. So let's dive into the questions that you guys asked on Instagram. One of you guys asked such a insightful, sweet question about how Justin and I are prioritizing our marriage since having Ella. And I am actually so proud of us for how well we've been doing that. I don't know that we've had a particular like system or tips that I can specifically share with y'all, but it has just been so much better than I expected. I actually made a reel about that on Instagram. And for us, I feel like the things that have been working, it's just tons of communication. That's always been definitely a strong suit in our relationship. We just over communicate, frankly, and we will apologize for every little thing. We will say thank you for every little thing. We'll bring up things that are bothering us in the moment or within that same day. And maybe it's overkill for some people, but that has just saved us from so many arguments, from resentment, all of it. I feel like something that I noticed really early on for us, just in that early sleep deprivation in those first few weeks and just feeling so overwhelmed and chaotic trying to figure out life with a newborn, I was finding myself feeling some resentment getting stirred up, specifically with night feedings, just as I was like, I'm the only one who can feed her, literally from my body, as I'm doing right now. Feeling frustrated that there's just this natural unevenness in being a woman, and what an honor that is to be the one to carry the child and to give birth and to nourish your children. It's amazing, and I could cry about that, but sometimes it feels unfair, and I was just feeling some resentment towards him. And the second that I started feeling that creep up, I was like, I can't do this. I am not going to let resentment take root. I mean, this is my husband, this is my best friend, and we talked about it like right then and there, and it was a hard conversation. I was like, I know this is not the most rational thing, but I'm feeling resentment towards you that you can't breastfeed Ella. I remember talking about this, and we eventually have incorporated like some pumping and bottle feeding, both to create a supply and prepare to go back to work, but also so that he can participate more in her feeding. He gets up with the night feedings and all of that. Like, he's been literally so amazing. It wasn't that he wasn't like helping or anything. He is doing so much. It's so wonderful. I'm so thankful for him. But I think it was just very normal to be like, oh my gosh, like I am doing more work because I'm the mom who like biologically has to do more work. So that was hard at the beginning, but we talked through that really fast. And I was like, I'm bringing this up because I do not want to resent you. Like, I do not want to have this anger towards you. I want to talk through this and process it. And it was uncomfortable, but it was so good. So that's just an example of kind of over communicating and nipping potential problems in the bud really fast. And just when you're so sleep deprived and spending every second of the day together, especially on leave when we both were lining up before he went back to work, and really relying on each other for all the things, you just have to over communicate or else it's gonna go south very fast. And because we've done that and really just leaned on each other in a positive way, I genuinely have never felt more in love with Justin. We feel so close. We both have said we have grown so much in our friendship and our marriage as a whole, and just being like partners together, and we just love it. Like, parental leave was so good for our relationship, and I am so thankful for that, because I have heard way too many people just talk about how much they like hate their husbands after they have a baby, which, first of all, if you hate your husband, one, that's just a problem in general, but why are we talking about it online? Anyways, that's like a whole separate issue. I could talk about that forever. Husband bashing culture is so bad and it drives me crazy. Like, go to marriage counseling. You know, if we're having those issues, don't take them to Instagram or Reddit or whatever. But some of that is very valid because the relationship absolutely changes after you have a kid, and if you don't have good systems in place or aren't ready to adapt to those changes, your marriage could fall apart. So yeah, I've just become really, really thankful for my husband in this season. What I remember from this question is, I think this is my friend who likes to always ask about unexpected joys in different seasons. reasons, and I'm pretty sure that's what she asked. It might have been a different variation of that question, so I'm sorry if I don't fully answer this question correctly. The first thing that comes to mind when thinking about unexpected joys immediately postpartum is kind of what I already talked about at the beginning of this video, just seeing Ella change literally every single day, every single week, and noticing that she can see farther, or that she is staring at light or the ceiling fan. Little tiny simple things like that have been so sweet and so cute. She is so much more alert these days. Girl does not like to nap during the day. She's actually great at sleeping at night right now, which we are so thankful for. But just noticing those tiny changes in her development has been so fun. I can't tell you the joy of seeing her smile at us for the first time, of finding herself in the mirror on her playmat. It's just so delightful. I mean, we obviously weren't there for us doing those things, you know, that's a very meta thought for you. But being able to witness a little baby who is your child, that you and your best friend made together with God, just grow and become more and more of a little person is so fun. Like, I can't explain what a joy it is. And I've experienced that, you know, watching other people's kids and seeing kids like in the church nursery go through different milestones. But when it's your own child, I mean, you get so proud of them. Like, I will tell Ella I'm proud of her all the time. And she's not like doing much, you know? When she started latching better, I was like, I'm so proud of you. I just can't even imagine what it's going to be like to see her, you know, ace a test, or like try piano for the first time, or hold her breath underwater, or all these little kid milestones of growing up. I just love it so much, and it makes me think about how God must think about us and how proud he is of us, and how we just need to be so much more aware of the little things in our own lives and celebrate small things and be like, you know what, it's a really big deal that I accomplished X, Y, and Z, and you know, God's proud of me for working on this. And yeah, I could talk about that forever, but that would be my unexpected joy. I obviously knew those things were going to be sweet, but I never imagined just how sweet they would actually be. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about are just my thoughts on social media right now, specifically this week, and just patterns that I notice whenever national or international tragedies happen. I'm not going to get into like thoughts on the events of yesterday, which was Charlie Kirk's murder and the Colorado school shooting. It's so sad. Like, all of it is so sad. But something that really stuck out to me yesterday in just observing people posting online and different content creators, influencers that I follow, sharing their thoughts and sentiments on it all, was how quickly people in comment sections jump to conclusions about the creator. This is something I'm noticing just as someone who is a small content creator and just a human. I decided probably about a year ago that I would not share anything about news. Just as the election was happening and all the vitriol online was getting worse and worse, I was like, you know what? It's just not worth it. I'm not someone who's super into politics anyways. Like, obviously I stay informed and I care, but I just didn't feel like I needed to add to any noise or chatter online. And I just decided at that point, I was like, you know what? If anything ever happens to my local community or people that I actually know in real life that I really feel compelled to share about, a great example would be the Mystic floods of this summer. That's actually my summer camp that I grew up at. So I shared a good bit about that on my Instagram stories when it happened, because it was just completely devastating and people that I actually know in real life died. And so I just decided that in those cases I would share if I felt compelled to, but anything else that was going on that people were posting about, I just wasn't going to participate in that, and I was going to process that news and pray and take action and all of that privately. And that's been a really good boundary for me to have. And even if it's something I wanted to share about or post about or express, you know, feelings or grief about, I just have decided to keep it private. And yesterday I kept that consistent. I haven't posted about any of the events that happened, but I've been processing a lot with my husband and my friends and praying and just kind of thinking like, what do we do with this? And I bring that all up to say that I am really sad and angry when I see people in comment sections, specifically for content creators, demanding that they address every single issue, every single tragedy, calling people hypocrites if they talk about one thing but not the other. And I understand, like, you are following people who are role models, or you want them to be role models for you, and you feel disappointed if they, you know, endorse someone that you don't agree with and all of that. But I just think we so often forget that we're all people and all humans, and we also do not have the full story. Just because someone posts about Charlie Kirk dying does not mean they don't care about gun reform or vice versa. And like, for me, I heard way more about Charlie before I ever heard about the school shooting yesterday. And I was actually really upset that I hadn't heard about the shooting until the end of the day. And y'all, it happened like 30 minutes away from where we live. It happened right outside of Denver. And that's my local community, right? Like, I want to hear about that and the things that are impacting the people close to me. And obviously, like, I want to hear about things happening nationally as well, but I don't know. I don't know if this is making any sense or resonating with y'all, but I just feel so sad when I see really like anyone frankly wasting time being hateful in comment sections. It's just not worth it. It's like, what are we doing with our time? Like, we all need to just like throw our phones away, go outside, get some fresh air, touch some grass, like, and not just spend time like trolling other people. But I mean, there's some sweet people that I follow that got horrible comments just for feeling like burdened by the evil of the world, and people being like, where were you when XYZ happened, kind of thing. And I was telling a friend, like, sometimes our algorithms only give us specific news and you don't hear about something happening until way later, just based on your feed or the day you happen to check the news. I mean, there's so many news stories that I hear about weeks later and I'm like, I had no idea that person died or this horrible thing happened. Like, I would have loved to know so I could have been praying about it or talking to people about it or whatever. And I feel like we've lost nuance and we've lost compassion online, especially when tragedies happen. It's just really crazy to me how demonizing it's become. So that's a very heavy topic, but if you're also feeling that weight, I feel you, and that's why I've just taken off a day from social media today. I feel like we so easily put this pressure on people that we follow and ourselves, frankly, to be like political commentators or something, or politicians, and to like have opinions on every single thing that happens and every single issue and every tragedy. And that's just not realistic. Like, think of the burden that we're putting on others and ourselves to be aware of everything happening in the world. Our brains are not meant to know every piece of news and to have deep feelings and thoughts and opinions on it. Like, it's good to be informed and especially to care about your local community and your country. Hello friends. So when I was filming this video, my camera died or got overheated or something like that. Basically, it stopped working and I am just not getting a chance to finish the coffee chat. We are actually heading to Disney tomorrow, so I've been filming the pack and prep video and all that fun stuff. But I think where I left off was talking about just social media this past week with current events, and I feel like y'all got the gist of what I was saying. Definitely comment down below if you've had similar sentiments. I feel like it's just been a hard week to be online, whether you create or you're just a person consuming social media and feeling pressured to talk about current events, but also like not wanting to. Or maybe you're someone who enjoys that, and that's great. But anyways, I just feel like it was really helpful for me to process that with y'all. Follow me on Instagram if you're ever curious why I don't share about current events. That's why. So that is that. I'm so tired, you guys. So tired. Justin's driving us back from my friend's birthday party and we stopped to pack. So you can check us out in that video and then the Disney vlog after that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you have any thoughts on anything I talked about or other topics you want me to talk about in future coffee chats. Love y'all. Bye.